Do you want to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee and perhaps outrun rockets? Well, now you can. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 11 of the Fallout 4 Mod Vault. The first mod I'm going to show you this week is the bullet time mod, which is a great alternative to using VATS. So if you're not all that keen on VATS, but you want some reason for using action points beyond sprinting, you have toggleable bullet time. And you basically toggle it on, and then the whole world is slowed down, and you can get those perfect headshots every time. You also get quite a lot of hang time with bullet time on. So if you jump, you can really make some long jumps. Now, at the time of making this video, there's no way to detect key presses. So what the mod author has done is provide a couple of items in your inventory under the Aid tab: bullet time and bullet time configuration. Bullet time, when activated, does exactly what you've been seeing. It activates the bullet time. So you're going to want to place this on a hotkey. That does mean there is a hotkey slot taken up. I've got mine set at 1 for now, and I've just actually unfavorited it. But you're going to want that on your favorites, and then when you activate it, much the same way as when you're drawing a weapon or using a stim pack, it will turn itself on. The downside to this approach is that you cannot activate bullet time while zooming, because you can't change weapons. If I try to change weapons now, it won't let me. I'm aiming down the sights, and if I try to activate the bullet time, it will not happen. The same is true for stim packs or anything like that. This is going to be especially annoying for snipers who like to find their targets on the horizon and then want to activate bullet time, because you're going to have to unzoom, bullet time, and zoom back in. It's not the end of the world, but of course it is, a slight weakness, and I don't think it's going to be fixable until we get the creation kit, the GEC from Bethesda, and a Fallout 4 script extender that allows key press detection. I'm almost sure that's going to happen, so the mod will probably be updated at that time. Now, by default, I found the bullet time lasted quite a long time with the action points, and probably you get way more shots off with bullet time than you would with VATS. Far more, actually. But the mod actually has a configuration tool that you can access right below the bullet time tool, and it will let you change everything: the time dilation factor and the AP cost, the default being 20 AP per second, and you can go all the way up to 50 AP per second if you want to sort of balance it a lot more aggressively. As you can see, the action points ran out far sooner. You can of course go in the opposite direction and become a bit of a superhero by configuring the AP cost to be 0 and perhaps even making the time dilation factor completely and utterly that speed slow. So there you go, I've got 4% speed and I'm not using action points. I can now go into bullet time, literally move around like the Flash, still get my hang time, as well as just... Oh, I'm still hanging. Still hanging. And outrunning the laser beams. A little unbalanced, maybe. Just a tad, he says, still floating around. There you go, I finally landed, but might make for some interesting laser beam artwork. And yes, if you're wondering, you can in fact outrun your own missiles. Quite comfortably, actually. The mod does use scripts, however, they're very lightweight, and I've had a look at them and couldn't see anything that worried me in the slightest. So, as far as I can see, that should not be something that comes into consideration. So, if you're looking for an interesting alternative to VATS, or just a way to become pretty much the Flash, bullet time may be the thing for you. Now, you may have noticed the armour I was wearing in the last mods demonstration was not one of the vanilla sets. It is in fact the Wasteland sniper outfit by Hoth Trooper 44. And this is a great looking military style sniper outfit, and it sort of suits the Wasteland as well as someone who has military experience. It comes in a variety of colours, including the standard army green. It comes in forest, which is a little deeper green. You have desert camo, and you even have urban. It's a great mix of what look like scavenged army pieces from perhaps old uniforms, old equipment storages, and the standard sort of Wasteland clothing. It really fits the Wasteland, whilst at the same time looking like the sort of thing a military sniper would wear. Now, the armour comes with what look like backpacks on the back. However, it doesn't actually increase your carry weight, which I was a little disappointed by, because it does actually look like you've got quite a lot of extra carry spaces there. Perhaps a new version will actually rectify that. All of the outfits can be crafted at the chem desk, which is fairly standard at the moment, and the resources it requires are perfectly reasonable. Bit of adhesive, steel and cloth. The stats are reasonable for this kind of armour, and it can actually be modded and improved a little. However, there doesn't seem to be an option to add things like ultralight materials or to be able to wear extra armour pieces, the layered armour pieces, over the top of this. That's going to mean you are a little underprotected compared to some other options. However, I guess as a sniper you should be going for stealth rather than full-on head-to-head combat. Overall, a great looking and well balanced piece of armour. There are quite a few great map mods for Fallout 4, but what I loved about the next one is the fact that it uses a satellite image as its background, and as you can see, you get far more detail on the map. And when I say it's a satellite image, I don't mean it's a satellite image of the real life Boston. It's actually what you would see if you were a satellite taking an image of the Fallout 4 game world. So all of these buildings are actually places in the game. Not only is this quite useful, I actually think it's quite pleasant to look at. I think it's a lot more pleasant than the vanilla map or even most of the mods that I've tried. I really like how easy this is on the eyes. Of course, it is possible if you spend a lot of time studying this map in great detail, you may get some kind of spoiler information. I'm not totally sure, I haven't actually done that myself. You may be able to see places that you didn't know existed. I'm not totally sure, but unless you're really scouring it for those sort of details, I doubt that's going to be a problem. As you can see, the version I'm showing you right now is a monochrome version, but there is a full colour version, and it is pretty glorious. As you can see, the details are actually even easier to see, and well, it looks damned nice. To get this version working correctly, you do have to change some of the Pip-Boy settings, and you will notice that the normal screens are crystal clear. You're not going to get any of that sort of scanline effect that gives you that old world technology feel. For many people, this is actually going to be a benefit anyway, because you know, it is a lot easier to read this text than the default text, and for some people the novelty of the scanlines do wear off. Now, to get that working properly, you are going to have to make some ini file edits in the Fallout 4 custom.ini. You should know where that is if you've set your game up to be moddable. So you're going to need to open it up, and you will need to add the following two lines. You can actually find them on the front page of the mod, and you need to copy them underneath the display section. You will also need the I Pip-Boy disable fx equals 1 underneath the Pip-Boy section. You will need to make those edits to the Fallout 4 custom ini to get what you saw on my screen. Overall, I have to say, this isn't just a great mod because it helps you find things a little easier. It's just all round a lot more pleasant to use. However, there is one slight downside with it. When you install the mod, you're going to find that whilst you can zoom in and check out the details, you can't zoom out very far. That's the maximum zoom I have, which can make traversing the map a little difficult. And that's why you're probably going to want to use the next mod I'm going to show you, the Zoom Out in World and Local Map mod, which, unsurprisingly enough, allows you to zoom out very far indeed. Now there are a variety of versions of this for different size maps, so if you're using an 8K map you might want to use the 8K zoom, but honestly it really does let you zoom out completely, and as you can see I can pretty much see the entire map in one go. Not necessarily very useful, but it does allow you to move around the map very quickly indeed, which is, well, honestly kind of essential if you're using a map mod like this, but actually useful even if you're used to the vanilla map. And there's really not a lot else to say about this mod. It is just amazingly useful, especially if you're using a high resolution map mod. Have you ever wondered why your settlers are so lazy? I mean, you give them these great places to live, you install tons of defences, you give power and lighting to the entire place, and not one of them ever thinks to pick up a broom and clean the mess up. It's as if they don't care about the property value. Well, with a mod called Spring Cleaning, you can do it for them. You can junk all of the things that you really wish you could have junked from the start. All of this mess, the shrubbery, the piles of dirt, the errant pieces of grass, even things such as, well, piles of leaves. Oh, that's fertilizer. Leaves, privets, I believe you call them hedges. Everything. Everything and anything. If it's here, you can probably clear it up. You can get rid of the buildings that previously you had to stick with, although it can often take a few clicks, in as you have to get rid of each thing individually. The monkey bars and the playground geodome, gone. As well as the vines. Foundations! Don't want the foundations? Well, why not? Gone. Mole rat holes? Gone. And even all the vines and growth on the Sanctuary Hills sign. It can be a tiny bit annoying to target it, but once you've done it, you've got a beautifully clean sign. If only I could actually repaint it, which is a great idea. In general, it just allows you to clean the mess up. All of these things that make the place, well, just a little scruffy. Things that should be reasonably easy to remove. Something I kind of wish the settlers themselves would do, but there you go. Now, this mod is actually something I've been looking at for some time, but it's just been getting better and better, and it's now very mature and seems extremely stable. I know certain bugs have been fixed, and in general it just seems like a great mod now to install if you want to just, you know, well, basically clean the place up. As you can see, this bit of road is already looking an awful lot better. And I've got some resources out of it as well. Now, I would recommend against just taking everything that you can loot, because, you know, sometimes a few bushes, a few pieces of grass, yeah, I need to fix all that, could look good. I mean, you don't necessarily want hanging vines all over your house that look a bit of a mess, but maybe some bushes, some shrubbery you'd like to keep. And if you do junk them, you won't be able to put them back unless you have another such mod that will let you do that. For example, I'm actually using Homemaker mod at the moment, a great mod. I've not covered that yet. I should do. But that allows me to put on things like more foliage, so I can actually replace the ones with nicer ones. Oh, nice little hedges and this sort of thing. But if you're not using a mod like that, you might want to leave a few of the bushes just so the place doesn't look like a concrete jungle. But that's completely up to you. Now, the front page does discuss a number of issues you might find, including having difficulty putting some furniture down, but that can be fixed by using something like the Homemaker mod. But there's also a problem with sprinting. I'm trying to sprint right now and nothing is happening. However, the mod does come with a fix that you can install during the installation that will allow you to do this. You can actually fix this yourself if you want by editing the Fallout 4 custom.ini file. You just add those two lines, gameplay, and then fplayer disables sprinting loading cell distance equals 0 to the bottom and save it. This will actually work, but you don't need to if you're using the fix that comes with the mod. Please note this bug is not unique to this mod and occurs in a number of other mods too, and is due to the fact that the mod makes cell edits. I know it's a harsh world, I know the fight for survival is the priority, but at some point, once you've got your food, your water, your defences all sorted out, it just seems perfectly reasonable that people are going to want to clean the place up a little bit. And this mod allows you to do that. Really, it feels like the sort of thing that should probably have been in the game from the start. And that is all we have time for this week. I'm going to be ending once more with some screenshots that you guys have been posting, and I am amazed at how good the screenshots are already. I've had a lot of submissions. I can't thank you guys enough. Some of them are absolutely incredible, and I'm having a hard time picking the ones to include at the end of the video. My apologies to the many people who are getting missed here. It's unavoidable, I'm afraid. I am swamped with them. So a big thank you to all of you, including those who I didn't manage to cover. If you are interested in submitting a screenshot, I did make a video showing you how you can do this. I will leave a link down below to that video, and a big thank you in advance. I will of course be back next week with more great mods to show you, and I hope you can join me for that video. I look forward to seeing you there, and until then, remember, as always, have fun. If you're curious as to whether I've covered a mod in one of my videos, feel free to go along to my website gophersvids.com and check the search functionality out. Just type the name of the mod you're interested in, open up the settings and filter by mods only. Click for search and you will see whether or not I've covered that mod. Click on the mod and it will also show you any of the videos this mod appears in.